I don't know if you guys have heard this, but there are rumors that people like Kylie Jenner, Cristiano Ronaldo, all those guys, they collect as much as $500,000 to talk about a brand on social media. Like, and again, the power that they have, people actually go and buy what they're talking about, right? They actually make millions for these companies. In Nigeria, we have people like Kiki. I love Kiki. Like I love Kiki so much, right? You have Pamileri, you have Miss Techie, you have this guy as well, Fisayo Fosudo. There's so many of them, and they talk about brands and consumers, customers. They go ahead and actually go and try out these brands, patronize, buy, just because of that influence that they have, right? And then you are home, you're wondering like, okay, how can I get these influencers to talk about my business? How can I work with these influencers? How much should I pay them? How much do I pay them? Can I even get them to work for free? Right? That's what today's podcast is about. Bonjour. Welcome to another episode of MIA with Damini, a bi-weekly show targeted at helping African business owners sell and market their products and services better. Let's start with who's an influencer. An influencer is someone that gets people to make a decision, right? That's the simple definition I would use wherever it is anybody asks me now, who's an influencer. So an influencer is someone that would make a group of people make a decision. It doesn't have to be a group. If I can influence one person to make a decision, I'm an influencer. It's always just one person, right? I'm an influencer to that particular person. Um, there are different types of influencers. Everybody has their own definition of things, but I like to tier mine out. So I have tier one, tier two, tier three, tier four influencers, right? So tier one influencers will be your celebrities. Foke Akidele, Faz the Bad Guy, Kylie Jenner, like we spoke about earlier. Those are celebrities, those are big time shots. Those are the guys that charge the most as well, right? They have tier two influencers. Tier two influencers are like YouTube sensations. They are like vloggers that are very popular as well, skit makers. So a tier two influencer is also a celebrity, but it's not just as wide range as a tier one influencer, right? So you can say someone like Tauma, right? You can say someone like Tauma is a tier two influencer. But I feel like with the way social media is moving and the way technology is rising, at some point these guys are already celebrities, to be honest. So at some point they would also be charging the same money that the Funke Akinyele them would charge at some point, right? So that's tier two. Then you have tier three. Tier three are more niche specific. So all these influencers that they always talk about fashion. So someone like Gislove now. Gislove, always the guy. I like the guy. I like the way he churns out his content. It's very nice. So yeah, he's a fashion influencer. You have other influencers that are all about food, all about skincare, beauty, all of that. So tier three influencers are more niche specific influencers, right? They are not. They are affordable, sha. I don't want to say that they are not cheap. They are affordable, but they are not cheap, right? Yeah, they are not cheap, but they are affordable. Then you have tier four. Tier four influencers are people. Some people call them nano influencers. I've had colleagues of mine call them nano influencers. Tier four influencers are people that have some form of social media presence, the 10Ks, the 7Ks, 15K followers. Not a lot to, say that, oh, this person has like 100K or 70K followers, right? That's your tier four influencer. I feel for influencers, when someone is really like knocking on the door and, becoming one of the big shots, is when you graduate from tier 4 to tier 3, that means you have like 50, 60K followers on one platform, not accumulated, just one platform, right? Could be TikTok, could be Instagram, wherever it is. You have more than 50K followers, you're a tier 3 influencer, right? If you have up to like, let's say you have up to like 300, 500K followers, you are you are going you if you're going into a tier 2 space. I feel like you're becoming a celebrity because 500,000 people following you, that is, wow, that's a couple of provinces in Canada, to be honest, right? So you have those kind of people following you. That's a lot of people. And then once you're just hitting that 1 million mark, you are a big boy. You're a celebrity. You're a celebrity. Like that's why I said that people like them, Tauma, all those guys, they're already tier 1. To be honest, they're actually tier 1 influencers. So now you know the difference between a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 influencer, right? You know what their following is like on social media across different platforms and all of that, right? Now, when you want to pick influencers for your business, you want to pick influencers based on what your ideal customer already likes and dislikes, right? So it's almost very it's almost like you are niching the influencers, right? So for example, now you don't want to pick a tech influencer when you are trying to sell a beauty product, right? What you want to do is, if you're selling food, you would want to pick a lifestyle influencer or a fitness influencer that can talk about the benefits of the food you're selling, how it's healthy, and all of that, right? You always want to pick influencers that are relatable to what you're selling. Next question would now be, how do you now contact these influencers? How do you get them to be interested in working with you, right? um there's a secret to this that a lot of people take for granted, right? You have 5 to 7 connections to anybody in the world. Anybody. Like if you want to meet Barack Obama today, you are literally 5 to 7 connections to meeting Barack Obama. You just need to make up your mind and decide who your first connection is. Once you decide who your first connection is, linking it 5 to 7 people is very, very easy. Anyways, that's how you do it. You have 5 to 7 connections to whichever influencer you want to use. If you want to use Kiki, you know, you can go ahead, look for a friend that knows a friend that has a friend, and you'll be shocked how you're on the phone with Kiki via WhatsApp or something, right? Also, what we also used to do back in the day was, if we do not have a direct relationship with the influencer, we'll just send a DM, right? Especially if it's a niche tier 3 type influencer. Um, tier 3 and tier 4 influencers typically respond to DMs. So you just shoot them a DM that, hey, how you doing? I really love your craft, I love your work, and we would like to work with you. Please let me know if this is something you're interested in, or what the possibilities are. Um, if I can get your number, your email address, that would be fantastic. All of that, right? So you don't want to like send all those things, all the details of everything you want them to do. You cannot send it to them. But typically, that's how you want to contact your influencers. But don't sleep on that 5 to 7 rule. Don't sleep on it, because you want to leverage the connection you're using to reach out to that influencer and possibly get a good deal. Possibly. I have so many stories that I can tell you regards both personal and during my work time, right? Both times where 5 to 7 connection would help. You are literally 5 to 7 connections to anybody and everybody in the world. The idea that you can get these influencers to talk about your brand for free sounds exciting, Abby. It's possible. Um, I've had I've I've had influencers talk about my products actually for free. I think the only payment, or you can call it payment, was the free product I gave them. Free product, delivery fee, and all of that. But how you want to get an influencer to talk about your product is, there are different ways to do it. Number one is actually have a good product, right? Actually have a good product that stands out, that is different, and is different from all angles. The product itself, the packaging, the little things like the thank you cards, all of that, right? Have something that is stand out. Definitely not what the influencer is used to seeing, especially when it's an African-owned business, right? Um, Another thing you want to do is look, find out what the influencer likes. So, for example, now if the influencer is a huge football fan and you are a footwear vendor, what you can do, and you know he's a huge football fan, he plays football or she plays football. Since we're talking about gender equality these days, there are women that play football as well, right? So yeah, she's a huge football fan. You can actually go and get her soccer boots and get it delivered to her and say that, oh, we realize that you love playing football, you have a passion for football, and we at, let's say your brand is called Tijani Footwear, right? We at Tijani Footwear would love for you to have these free soccer boots and shin pads and all of that, right? Something that they truly love. Unconsciously, they will post it on social media. The only thing is they might post it on their story because again that's like Snapchat. It will be deleted in 24 hours. But if you're a sharp business owner, you will quick record it and hold on to it and use it for your marketing purposes. And then always tag them all that. Well, again, that's also messy, but there's that. That's one option. That's one option that has worked for me. That actually that particular one has personally worked for me in like 3 or 4 different businesses, right? The next one is partner up with them, right? Now this particular one requires a more high level management conversation, right? But let me use Rihanna for example now. Rihanna owns, according to Google, Rihanna owns 15% of Fenty Beauty, but she's like the marketing manager, if you ask me, because she's always posting about it, talking about it, and all of that. And that's because the money that Fenty Beauty makes, she owns 15% of it. Now, if you look at 15%, you'll be like, oh, it is small. But if not even if they are making at least profits of 100 million naira, $100 million, what I'm saying there, $100 million, and Rihanna is taking on easy 15 million from that. She didn't enter studio to sing any song. She didn't promote any song. She didn't climb on stage to be screaming her voice. Easy 15 million naira just from posting herself on Instagram, wearing some face makeup and some nice bikinis and all that, right? So yeah, you can also partner up with your influencer. That's possible. But what I've learned and what I know for a fact is it's easier for you to actually partner with the tier 3 and tier 4 influencers and actually get them to talk about your brand for free because it's a win-win situation for everybody, right? Um, Tier 3 influencers are those niche specific influencers I was talking about. So for example now, let me go back to tech. You are in the tech industry, you sell AirPods, you sell fit bands, you sell smartwatches, all of that. You actually want to give an influencer a free brand new maybe like one of these brands like Samsung, Apple, or Rimo, one of their watches, smartwatches, right? And then you say that, oh, would you would you like to do a review of the new or just released or whatever it is smartwatch? Please, you just give us a shout out at the end of the video that if they are looking for it to buy, we have in stock. We deliver in less than 24 hours if that's possible, something like that, right? That influencer will be excited to work with you because it's a win-win situation, right? The influencer gets to talk more about his work, right? And then you as well also get free publicity on their YouTube show, on their social media pages, and all of that. Now, for the nano influencers, those are the guys that are still building following. Now, because they are still building following, they would want their current audience to see them as niche influencers, upcoming niche influencers, and then share as well. These guys are also good for giveaways because when your giveaway would be something like follow me and follow the brand. So they're also good for hosting giveaway competitions as well. So yeah, that's what you'd want to look at. When it comes to picking influencers for your business, um, I'll tell you to focus on two things, right? Number one is dream big. Don't just think of your tier three and tier four influencers. Also think of what celebrity you want to work with your brand, right? Um, think of what tier two influencer you want to work with your brand, right? Someday you might have Kylie Jenner talking about your beauty products. You can have Wizkid or Burna Boy talking about your shoes, wearing your shoes to shows, that kind of thing, right? So you want to dream big. Don't streamline or think too small of your business or your brand. Don't do that to yourself, right? Um, that's the first thing. The second thing is you are selling this brand and this business to an ideal customer. So who is that ideal customer, right? That's another that's another podcast right there. But who is that ideal customer? Understand who that is, their pain points, their passion points. What do they want to watch? What do they want to listen to? Who do they listen to? Who do they watch? Who do they go to? Let all of that indulge and infuse you on who to pick, right? Don't just pick based on who you like. So as much as I like Kiki, in fact, I don't even like I love Kiki, right? As much as I love Kiki, I currently do not have any business that I run personally that she would be a good influencer for, right? Most of the businesses I run are not her niche, so to speak, right? In future, when other things are happening, I would love to work with her. Today we spoke about who is an influencer, types of influencers, how to get an influencer to work for your business or to work with your business free of charge. Um, you know, different ways to contact an influencer. Please and please, I want to talk about the 5 to 7 connection rule again. Pay close attention to that rule. It's very important. A lot of people have used it to scale their businesses. A lot of people have used it to break boundaries, to be honest, break boundaries, and all of that. All right. So thank you for listening to another episode of Am I Here with Damini. As you know, this podcast is sponsored by Oja Digital, an agency targeted at making marketing simple and productive for small and medium scale businesses. Till next time, I say au revoir.